I guess. So today I'm going to be teaching you the ultimate solo queue guide for Valorant and improving on your own. A lot of these, I'm going to give you 6 tips, and a lot of them are things you might already kind of know, but I'm going to explain them in a little bit more depth. Some of them you might not know at all. So our first one is focus your mentality on improving. So by this, pretty much I mean, I'm going to explain it further in some of the other tips, but it pretty much means give all of your energy the game, right? Stop worrying about things that don't matter, things like blaming teammates, things like your KD, things like simple whiffs, like missing shots. Like, yeah, those things do matter, but they don't matter so much that they should determine how you play, right? Like if you whiff, or if your teammates make a bad play and then you feel like the game's over just because of that, those are things that you really want to kind of get rid of. Mentality is one of the biggest aspects of this game to actually improve and get better. So if you feel like your mentality is kind of could use a little bit of work, try to really put energy and effort into improving that. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is 0 blaming teammates and 0 being toxic. So there's pretty much a no tolerance policy for me about this. You should pretty much never be blaming teammates, because if you're blaming teammates, again, that just kind of goes to the last rule I gave you, that you should be putting all of your energy into kind of improving, and none of it should be worrying about things that don't matter. So 0 blaming teammates, and if you're gonna blame someone, blame yourself, because if you blame yourself, it's something you can actually fix. If you blame teammates, it's a waste of time, and because you can't control your teammates, right? The only thing you can control is yourself. And no being toxic. This is something that you absolutely, like, again, it's honestly, in my opinion, a little bit worse than blaming teammates, because being toxic is, well, I guess it's kind of like a similar thing, right? But being toxic is, in my head, a little bit more kind of aggressive than blaming teammates, because, like, if you blame teammates, you can call them out on something potentially that's good, but blame usually has like a negative connotation to it. So if you're trying to tell your teammate that they're doing something wrong, you can do it in a way that's not negative. And also, being toxic is just pretty much saying that you want to lose the game. So again, try not to blame teammates and try not to be toxic. Zero tolerance policy. Sorry. So rule number 3 is, or tip number 3 is, learn from mistakes and apply what you've learned, or what you learned from your mistakes. So you know, pretty much any tiny mistake or any major mistake, if you don't know what kind of major mistakes you're making, try to record a VOD of yourself playing and then watch it back and think, because like sometimes whenever you play and you feel like you made a big mistake but you don't really know what it is, oftentimes if you go back and watch it from a different perspective, like after the game's over, it's gonna allow you to see things in a different way, and it'll hopefully be more helpful for you. So again, learn from mistakes. It could be any tiny little mistake, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have naded here because there's someone close and I knew they were, so I shouldn't have pulled my ability out. Or it could be something really bad, like, you know, why can't I think of a really bad example? Like running down mid just for no reason. Like, obviously don't do that. But again, your mistakes are gonna vary from person to person. So like, one of my viewers might struggle with aim or how to attack, how to defend, and someone else might suffer with like just ability usage or something. So it's really on you to kind of figure out what, you know, you need to improve on from your mistakes. Really just kind of try to figure out those mistakes, feel them out, and try to put energy into you know, improving those things. And of course, book a coaching session with me and I got you, quite frankly. Anyways, tip number 4, this is something whenever I coach people that I literally tell them, I pretty much tell 90% of people, most people's agent pools are not great. So have an agent pool of agents mostly in the same role. So let's say you're a duelist main. Let's say you main Jett and Reyna. Or let's just say you main Jett, okay? Let's say you main Jett, you're really good at her. And your second and third agents are like Killjoy and Brimstone. So you guys might be like, oh, that's fine. But no, this is actually really bad, because your main agent that you're really good at is a duelist. And if you're flexing frequently to agents that are not a duelist, then it's gonna put you at a disadvantage for consistency's sake, and just it's gonna be harder, because 3 different playstyles on 3 different roles is giving you a hard time. So what I usually tell people like this is, okay, so Jett's your main, right? Instead of Jett, pick something like Reyna, Raze, any duelist, honestly, whatever you like. I'd say Jett and Reyna are the most closely related. Also, Chamber's a really good one to fit into that category. And then have one agent that's outside of your main role if you want. You don't have to, but if you want, you can have, like, you know, you can play a Killjoy for whatever reason, or whatever agent you think is fun. You can flex to that role, into that agent, whenever you need to, if you want to. So next, tip number 5 is aim train consistently. So whenever you're solo queuing, you're gonna need to carry yourself. You know, it's not just gonna I mean, some games are gonna be easy, some games are gonna be really hard. But on the games where it's kind of like back and forth between either team, you're really gonna want to have good aim, especially if you're a duelist. You're gonna want to be able to carry your team. Bang bang, you know, bang bang. You're going to hit those headshots and A and C link. But yeah, aim train, and the important part here is aim train consistently. If you're not doing it consistently, then you're not really going to be noticing much improvement. If you just aim train like twice a week or only occasionally whenever before you play, then you know you're not going to notice as much improvement as if you were to practice each time before you play. And that's what I would suggest. That's what I pretty much always say is 15 minutes before you play, or 15 minutes of aim training before you play, and that's going to do you really good over time. Even just after like a week or two, and then past that, you're just going to notice a lot of nice improvement. So tip number 6, this is kind of a given for most of you. Never give up, right? We're on this journey to improve all of our life, and if you're playing this game to get better and you have a nice solid goal set in stone, don't give up. If you've been stuck in a rank for 4 months, I don't care, don't give up. You know, like whatever your struggle is, don't give up. If you need some motivation, leave a comment. If you need some help, join my Discord server. And you know, I really just want to help people. That's kind of what I feel my purpose is. And if any of you guys have a question or kind of want to know something about this game, or mentality wise about this game, or just anything, let me know and I will gladly help you out. So this is 6 tips for solo queuing in Valorant. Hopefully this is very helpful. But yeah, please subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.